And coming up on First at 5, it's a nationwide crackdown to rescue kids from child exploitation, including arrests from around Augusta. And hundreds of fish go belly up. Investigators are now working to figure out what's behind a big fish kill. We'll tell you what they've learned so far.
News 12, First at 5.
Good evening, I'm Lindsay Tuman, and it's good to have you with us. We start tonight with one Hephzibah neighborhood that's recovering from a deadly accident that claimed the lives of 2 people over the weekend. Wren's police officer Kyterian Jones and Marcus Kelly died yesterday in a crash on Ulm Road. Richmond County deputies say Jones lost control of his vehicle, then hit a car and 2 people who were standing near it. Investigators have not released the cause of the accident or whether speed was a factor, but the neighborhood hopes that speed bumps will be installed in the area to prevent accidents like this in the future. Also from the crime team today, we're learning new information about the suspects arrested in Richmond County. In all, investigators arrested 11 people in our area last weekend. It's all a part of a nationwide sweep called Operation Cross Country 7. Today, we sat down with the Sheriff's Office and the GBI to see why they say these arrests are just a small part of a bigger problem.
Don't think it doesn't happen here or Columbia County, because we've made arrests in Columbia County and Augusta. It's happening everywhere.
And child sex trafficking is happening a lot closer than you think. Agent Charles Kicklighter has a lot of experience investigating these crimes.
You know, it could be a traffic stop for speeding, and next thing you know, you have an underage girl that's being, held against her will and prostituted.
What many people don't realize is this area is a big hub for these crimes. Yesterday, 2 alleged pimps and 9 alleged prostitutes were arrested in Augusta in connection to the sting. They say that a lot of the victims are runaway teens and preteens coming from broken homes.
Give them food, clothing, buy them things, and gradually move them into that role of, well, I've done this for you, now I want you to do this.
It's an unbearable thought for any parent.
Yeah, that can get kind of emotional. I get my little girl as my best friend.
These arrests show that this area is more susceptible to these crimes.
I mean, I-20 is like one of the main corridors.
I-20 is a 1,500-mile long interstate with countless rest areas, truck stops.
Agent Kicklighter and other law enforcement say that most of these crimes can be stopped with the help of the community.
If you're staying in a motel and you see something that doesn't look right, a young girl with an older guy, if you see any violence, or you notice a room where guys are in and out, all you have to do is make an anonymous call to your local law enforcement.
And the good news with this sting, 105 children and minors across the country were rescued during the operation. Local law enforcement agencies are assisting them with getting the counseling and services that they need. They say that this is the most important part of the whole process. And Richmond County is helping other kids in the area in a different way. They're aiming to keep kids out of jail by putting them inside of one. It's part of a new initiative called the Juvenile Offender Impact Program, and it was started by the Sheriff's Office. For one day, teenage offenders spend 7 hours in jail living the life of an inmate. They wear the same orange jumpsuit, eat their meals, and do their community service. And the Sheriff's Office is hopeful that the program will keep teens from being behind bars for good.
Trying to change the lifestyle. We're trying to keep them from going down that path because these individuals have already chosen to go down a path. And we're trying to say if you continue down this path, this will be your life. This will be your reality.
This is really something you don't want to do and all that. It's good, and it'd probably be good if a lot of people had the program.
It's being funded by the new DJJ reform bill that went into effect earlier this month. Roundtree is hoping to find a continuous funding source so they can expand to all at-risk youth. That way, they won't have to wait till a child offends before they can be a part of the program. And as some of you make your way out to restaurants and bars in downtown Aiken County tonight, you can breathe a sigh of relief. An alleged attempted murderer is off the streets after a brutal attack downtown. But tonight, we're learning more about that man who was well known in Aiken and why this arrest is still puzzling some folks around there.
It's really unbelievable right now. It really is.
Like so many others, Gloria Jones is still in shock.
It's really something that you can't comprehend right now.
Just days ago, 38-year-old Derek Brooks was arrested and jailed, and he's facing big charges: attempted murder, kidnapping, and criminal sexual conduct, all after an alleged assault downtown.
When they said Derek Brooks, I'm like, Derek Brooks. And then I finally got the face with the name, and it's just, like I said, it's unbelievable.
That's because Brooks was well known in Aiken. Jones said he coached track and field at Aiken High. However, Principal Garen Kofer says he was just a volunteer. But News 12 found a school newspaper article that says Brooks trained runners in the long jump, triple jump, sprints, and relays.
He was just a well-mannered fellow when he was growing up, always respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir.
That's the reason Jones and others are wondering, did he do it? But officers are certain that they caught the right guy. Police say that she was beaten unconscious, then raped and left for dead right here. And ironically, Brooks likely knew some of the officers at Public Safety. He coached track for the police department's Team for Kids. The Police Athletic League Facebook even thanks Brooks for his coaching only a few days before he allegedly committed the crime.
We know him, but do we really know him?
And David Turno, who's over this case, he says his men worked tirelessly. Again, they found forensic evidence, and he says they have multiple clips of surveillance video. He wouldn't say if they caught the act on camera or not, but he did say the video will play a big part in the trial. And we were also told by Captain Turno that the victim of this brutal attack is doing a lot better. She's one strong lady. And we are on your side tonight with a warning from the Savannah Riverkeeper. After hundreds of fish washed up dead over the weekend, experts are saying not to eat anything you catch in the Savannah River. Experts say they aren't sure what the cause is, but looks like there isn't enough oxygen in the water. This could be a result of all the recent flooding. The Savannah Riverkeeper is now working to figure out what caused the deficiency in the first place.
That could be caused by a number of things. Runoff from somewhere from the rains and the flooding. It could be caused by natural algae bloom. The thing is, right now, we don't know what it's from.
Experts are hoping lab tests will tell them what is killing the fish. The Riverkeeper and DNR have taken samples from the river to find out why the oxygen levels are so low. But until they can find the cause, don't eat any fish caught in the river. So if you want fish for dinner tonight, you might want to stop by the grocery store. Some news from the education team today. This fall, you can expect the size of your child's classroom to increase. About 80% of Georgia school districts approved plans to bump up class sizes due to a lack of funding. The Georgia Professional Standards Commission says the state lost about 1/10 of its teachers, while the student population grew about 3%. Day campers gathered at the W.T. Johnson Center to have some fun with local police officers earlier today. It was all a part of the Richmond County Sheriff's Office first annual Kids and Cops Camp. The day was filled with fun and demonstrations from the K-9 Division and Bob Squad. Sheriff Richard Roundtree also spoke to the campers about making the right choices and staying away from crime. At the end of the day, each camper got a backpack filled with school supplies, and best of all, they were appointed junior deputies. And one local hotel is getting some international attention. The 115-year-old Wilcox in Aiken holds the 5th spot in Travel and Leisure magazine's top hotels of all sizes, with a room rate of $250 or less per night. The hotel is also ranked 3rd for the magazine's top inns in the continental U.S. The Wilcox owner says they are humbled and exhilarated by the recognition. And if you haven't been there, their food is also really great, so what a winner. And one soldier is going to see a familiar face when he is overseas with the National Guard. His mom will be deploying with him to Afghanistan. Both mom and son are specialists with the main Army National Guard, and they are even in the same unit. They say it will be comforting to have someone they know by their side when they are so far from home. And coming up on News 12, at least they're talking. We'll tell you about efforts to jumpstart Middle East peace talks. Plus,
hey, whoa, how many ways you got to go?
Across the nation, fast food workers are walking out in protest. Find out what they want changed after the break.